Hi everybody. Okay, I usually don't do this on a Thursday, but I feel compelled to do it, so here we go. The best actress of the week, and I'm gonna get to actor in a minute, but the best actress of the week has to be a tie between Lisa Yamada and Kimberly Brown. Cause hold on to your seats, we're getting bad Sheila again. Okay, and I have another I guess comment that I've heard a lot that somebody is at their worst when they got nothing to lose. So if the relationship between Deacon and Taylor turned into something from being a therapist to something else, Sheila is gonna lose it, and I feel bad for Taylor because nothing is gonna save that shit. Yeah, and then add on to that the fact that Sheila and Taylor have had bad blood in the past. So yeah, you better watch yourself because okay, now I kind of called this, so I feel like I get credit here. Um, I said, oh no, Sheila is from yesterday. I said Sheila's pissed off. Somebody better watch themselves. And then we break into today, and Sheila is in the office talking to Taylor and saying that Deacon is the reason why I changed, and Deacon is the whole reason of everything. So if I lose him, then it's on. She didn't say that, but I kind of imagined she would say that. So I'm like, okay. All right, so then I'm like, oh, watch out. And then Kimberly Brown, I talk about this all the time. But Kimberly Brown has the ability to tell you exactly what her emotion is on her face. She doesn't have to say a thing. And you know, if she's having a good day, a bad day, whatever. Because if she's happy, then she's smiling, talking, whatever, all this stuff. And when she turns into like bad Sheila, there's no words, and when it's words, they're very short, and she has an evil eye. I've never seen somebody with that ability, like very few times. But Kimberly Brown has to be on the top. So, um, okay. Now all the other stories surrounding that. All right. Um, well, Deke is clearly in town, and uh, he wants to be a designer and work with Hope. But instead of just telling her, um, he slips his portfolio in with all the other sketches. And apparently, they hadn't clearly decided what designer they were going to use. So then, Hope, of course. Okay, and then I have to get past the awkward. And I don't like that it's awkward in the first place. Let me just say that. But okay, so you know how Carter and Hope are engaged, right? So then I guess she broke it off because she decided to go with Liam. Ugh. So then, whatever. So then she's still talking to her dad and Deke, right? In another room. And meanwhile, Carter and Ridge are talking to each other about how, well, we were engaged and we know we broke it off, but we can still we're still okay, we're still friends. And Ridge says, yes, you handled it very professionally, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So on the one hand, I'm glad to see Carter. Lauren Baker is great. I've said it a million times, okay? But I just always say we'd use him more often than they do. But that'll be my bone to pick forever. um, so yeah, and even though they didn't want it to be awkward, it's still awkward. um, okay. Then we move on to uh, Well, Deacon and Deke are waiting for something, and they're still there, right? Because Deke knows that he's kind of slid in his designs, his portfolio with all the other ones. So I guess he's waiting to see what they decide. But it's just awkward because nobody knows what he's done. Nobody. Because they're looking at all the sketches, and Hope says, "Oh, it's impressive. It's like this person knows me." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's your brother." But of course, she doesn't know that. So then she says, "Well, Ridge, what do you think?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think it could work." So of course, they're going to hire him, right? But then they go, "Well, all that's left is we have to see who the mystery designer is." And I'm like, "It's Deke." I'm screaming at the TV. I am prone to do that. So, but yeah. Okay, let's see what else. I'm trying to think of like what if I missed anything or anything like that. No, not really. I just okay. Now I'm gonna make predictions for the next week, like for tomorrow and the next week. All right. Well, of course, when Sheila goes into the mode of like I want to tear everything up, it's gonna get bad before it gets better, right? So of course, Taylor and Deacon are going to continue the sessions, and then I propose that they're going to get more intimate than just therapist and patient, and Sheila's going to lose her lip, and then we're going to have cat fight. And I want to have record that I called this last week. I said, oh no, we're headed for a cat fight and a major cat fight. And if that happens between Sheila and anybody, Sheila's gonna win. Okay? So I feel sorry for the opponent. I would say Taylor, get out of your way, but of course it's not gonna go that way because there has to be tension. Okay. Well, number one, there has to be tension. Number two, there has to be a reason for Sheila to go bad again. So, you know, yeah. That's about it. So I'm really excited to see what happens. I want to see a cat fight. We haven't had a good cat fight in a while. So I'm all for it. Bring it on. And also a side note, and this will be the end of it. Okay. Okay. Hope chose Liam. Where's Liam? Where's Scott Clifton? He got the girl, and now he's just MIA. Why? This makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. Is Scott Clifton on a break? Is he taking vacation? What? It just makes no sense. There's a huge gap. I mean, we have more moments between Carter and Hope than Liam and Hope. Explain that one. Weird. All right, off my soapbox. All right, bye everybody.